Position, spine erect, with the rest of the body relaxed. Let's take a double inhalation through the nose, tense the body, vibrate with tension, exhale from the mouth, relax and feel. Again, double inhale, tense. Exhale. Allow your whole body now to feel a flow of relaxation starting from the forehead, moving down across the face, shoulders, torso, hips, legs, and feet. And feel your inner spine, your astral spine, strong and erect. Good fountain of power and energy. And feel your inner gaze focused at the point between the eyebrows, as though you're gazing out through the forehead at that point. Keeping all the muscles around the eyes and the face soft and relaxed. And bring all your concentration onto your body's natural rhythm of inhalation and exhalation. And begin to notice at the very end of the exhalation, at the completion of the outward breath, that moment of pause, that moment of no breath, just before the body inhales again. Allow yourself to surrender into that moment of stillness and quiet. With each inhalation, mentally repeat the sacred mantra, Hong. And with each exhalation, Saw, which means I am spirit. Visualizing a dazzling light brighter than 100,000 suns at the point between the eyebrows. We'll meditate for 5 minutes.
Remaining in this inward state, listen to affirmations for self-healing. This week's affirmation is self-control. If a lake is made to feed into too many streams, it will soon become drained. Similarly, if a person's heart's energies are fed into countless streamlets of desires, he becomes drained, eventually of even the power to feel. Sated with pleasure, he grows dry, blasé, and indifferent to even the greatest wonders. The sensualist imagines that by giving up his pleasures, he would renounce happiness. But in fact, the more one restrains his senses and learns to live in the peace of the inner self, the more he finds himself glowing with happiness, good health, and a radiant sense of freedom and well-being. Repeat after me in a loud voice. I am strong in myself.
I am strong in myself.
I am complete in myself.
I am complete in myself.
The joy and perfection of the universe
The joy and perfection of the universe
await discovery within my inner being.
await discovery within my inner being.
Now in a more conversational tone. I am strong in myself.
I am strong in myself.
I am complete in myself.
I am complete in myself.
The joy and perfection of the universe
The joy and perfection of the universe
await discovery within my inner being.
await discovery within my inner being.
And now in a whisper, taking it into the subconscious. I am strong in myself. I am complete in myself. The joy and perfection of the universe await discovery within my inner being. And now in silence, taking it deeper into the subconscious. I am strong in myself. I am complete in myself. The joy and perfection of the universe await discovery within my inner being. And now with rising aspiration, bringing your awareness to the point between the eyebrows, in deep silence, taking this affirmation into the superconscious mind. I am strong in myself. I am complete in myself. The joy and perfection of the universe await discovery within my inner being. I am strong in myself. I am complete in myself. The joy and perfection of the universe await discovery within my inner being. Prayer. I crave nothing that the world can give me, Lord. O infinite perfection, make me one with thee.
We'll have this week's reading.
This is a reading from the book Rays of the One Light, Weekly Commentaries on the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita by Swami Kriyananda. Week 12. We are children of the light. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. It is common for people to perceive themselves according to their present realities. A person in ill health says, I am ill. Few say, I am well. It is my body that is suffering. People in a low income bracket say, I am poor. Only the unusual person will say, though outwardly I live in poverty, inwardly I am wealthy. Thus, when it comes to moral and spiritual development, people commonly identify themselves with their weaknesses and their mistakes. They consider it almost a sign of humility to say, I am a sinner. Though in effect, what this means is that they identify themselves with their sinfulness, not with the soul's power to transcend all limitations in God. The great masters, including Jesus Christ, have always emphasized the divine potential of mankind. To encourage us, they address us as children of light, not of darkness. The Bible, in the Gospel of St. John, chapter 3, makes the point that our true home is not the mud of this earth, but the light of heaven. No man hath ascended up to heaven, it tells us, but him that came down from heaven. This passage continues, even so, the Son of Man who is in heaven, emphasizing that Jesus, though he lived on earth, is perceived by the eye of wisdom as conscious, even in human form, of his true reality in heavenly spheres. The way to know God is to live in godly consciousness and not to bewail our imperfection and our distance from God. Jesus said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." And the Bhagavad Gita states, "Seekers of union with the Lord find him dwelling in their own hearts. But those who, lacking in wisdom, seek him with impure motives cannot perceive him, however much they struggle to do so." If you want to know God, Paramahansa Yogananda said, live in the thought that you have him already. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Oh, oh.
Good morning, great souls. We are children of light. We are from the light, but sometimes we forget who we truly are. So this morning, for our Whispers reading, Whispers from Eternity is a book Yogananda wrote of prayer demands and poems. And he said he would speak to us through this book when he was no longer here. We're going to read, I will read, "Thou and I are one." Now, this is a beautiful reading that we also do for the astral ascension ceremony, just confirming our oneness with God. And so today, I invite you to join me. After I read each stanza, we'll repeat together, "We are one," just to really bring that into, integrate in the deepest level of our soul, who we truly are. The cosmic life and I are one. Thou art the ocean, I am the wave. We are one. Thou art the flame, I am the spark. We are one. Thou art the flower, I am the fragrance. We are one. Thou art the Father, I am thy child. We are one. Thou art the beloved, I am the lover. We are one. Thou art the lover, I am the beloved. We are one. Thou art the song, I am the music. We are one. Thou art the spirit, I am all nature. We are one. Thou art my friend, I am thy friend. We are one. Thou art the master, I am thy servant. We are one. Thou art my mother, I am thy son. We are one. Thou art my master, I am thy disciple. We are one. Thou art the ocean, I am the drop. We are one. Thou art all laughter, I am a smile. We are one. Thou art the light, I am the atom. We are one. Thou art consciousness, I am the thought. We are one. Thou art eternal power, I am strength. We are one. Thy peace and I are one. Thy joy and I are one. Thy wisdom and I are one. Thy love and I are one. That is why thy and I are one. Thou and I were one, and thou and I will be one evermore. So beautiful, and such a truth. That's the deep truth, that we are soul. We are also body, we're also ego, but essentially we are soul nature. And that's what we're trying to remember at all times in this incarnation. When we incarnate into the physical body, Yogananda explained that we forget where we came from because it would be too complex for us to remember all of the people we loved in our previous incarnation and then recognize them in this incarnation as different people. That would be very confusing. So we have this great wave of forgetfulness. And then the whole journey of our life is remembering from where we came and remembering that we are of that light. So we're really talking about today in this reading, the ability to identify ourselves that way, just to really tune into our soul nature instead of our ego nature at all times. And that describes the whole journey of self-realization, which is realizing who we truly are and knowing that soul, our soul, is eternally inseparable from God. So no matter how many times we come back, how many times we fail, how many times we fall, our soul is ever inseparable from God because we are part of that effulgence of God, that light of God, that energy of God that moves through all of creation. That is within us, and that's who we truly are. Divine awakening is a process of, we call it smriti, which is simply remembering. It's a whole process of remembering that we are of this energy, this great energy, that we're just, this physical body is just like a little container that holds that energy for this short time that we're in this body as this personality and this person that we identify with. But that's not who we really are. It's just a dream, although it feels so real because Yogananda said that because we look at the body every day, you know, we look in the mirror, we have to take care of the body, and we experience the world through the physical senses, we start to really identify with this physical body. And that's all that the ego is. The ego is the soul identified with the physical body. And the only way to break that identification is through meditation. So the foundation of this path of self-realization is deep meditation every day, going deep within ourselves, focusing at the spiritual eye and joining our energy to that great energy of God. And during that time and after that time, sometimes it's just enough to loosen those strings that really tie us to this body, where we can start to have an experience of expanded consciousness and expanded awareness. In today's reading, it talked about the fact that we do tend to sometimes focus on our weaknesses, which is true. And one of the most powerful things we can do is to use affirmations. And those of us that have been on this path for a long time know that Yogananda spoke about affirmations as one of the key components to self-transformation. Because when we live in a statement that I am the son of God, I am the daughter of God, we start to believe that, we start to integrate that really deeply into our heart, mind, and soul. And that's another way to pull our identification from the physical body. Thought is the finest vibration of God's consciousness. Think about that for a minute. Our thoughts are the finest vibration of the consciousness of God. And the law of the universe says that every thought, every spoken word, every action that we put out comes back to us. And we call that karma. And karma is not negative, it's not bad. It just is the law of the universe that whatever we put out, we receive back. So when we think about that, our life is simply an outward manifestation of our own consciousness. So whatever's happening to us in our life is something that we've created either in this incarnation or many previous incarnations. And sometimes when things, we call it a karmic bomb, when something comes up in our life that's really difficult and really uncomfortable, it's hard to understand where it came from. And it could just be from something that we did 10 incarnations ago that we're finally having to have that energy come back to us. And hopefully, as we evolve spiritually, we can meet those tests, by staying in connection with God, staying in love, staying in joy, staying in peace. Scientists using MRIs have estimated that on average, we have between 50 and 70,000 thoughts a day. That's remarkable. And that breaks down to about 35 to 48 thoughts per minute, which is remarkable. Now, the problem with that is most of them are subconscious. or unconscious thoughts. How many times have you found yourself sort of saying really something negative about yourself and you didn't realize it's kind of like a loop, and then all of a sudden, I did it myself at work the other day. I made a mistake. I got a date wrong with a meeting, and I caught myself saying, "You're so dumb." And then I kind of thought, oh, that's not very positive to call. But we do that in so many different ways, don't we? And I don't need to go into all the ways because for everyone it's different, but we can really berate ourselves. And sometimes we do it subconsciously. If we don't do it, if we're not aware of it, it comes out in our sleep, it comes out in dreams. There's lots of different ways that we can really not be kind to ourselves. And Master said that when we create a negative habit or negative thought pattern, whatever it is that's going on around and around and around in the mind. Well, first of all, if it goes around in the mind, sometimes it comes out in our actions. And we start to create actual grooves in the brain. He described it as a record album. Now, we don't use records anymore, but some of us remember the needle goes around and around. So every time that we give in to one of our lower tendencies or to a habit, whatever it is, smoking, drinking, eating too much chocolate, every time that we do that unconsciously, that groove gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And then we find ourselves in situations where we feel like we're not even conscious of the fact that we're going towards that habit, or we're in the middle of doing something really self-destructive or something that's not in our highest good. Whether it's something really little, like I find sometimes when I'm cleaning my house at night, I go to the cupboard and I break off a piece of chocolate and I eat it, and then I go back, and at the end of the night it's gone, and I didn't even realize I ate it, you know? So that's like a really kind of sort of innocent example of how we can get into these habits that we're not even aware of. And you know, Master called us puppets when we do this. We become puppets. We lose control of our ability to stay in our soul nature. And, you know, we use the word sinner. And Master said we're not sinners. You know, sinner is just a word that we use to describe when we move away from God. But it's through our own misuse of our God-given power of reason and free will that we forsake our birthright as children of God, as children of light. So think about that. It's our own free will. It's our own power within us that we give away to these subconscious thoughts and these subconscious behaviors. Master always said that, again, we are children of God. We are children of the light, and the treasury of the infinite is ours. It's all ours. We can claim all the riches and the love and the peace and the joy of the universe if we stay in alignment with the soul nature. So the most powerful way, again, to do that is through affirmations, to control those 50 to 70,000 thoughts we have a day, to control those subconscious behaviors by coming up with these statements, affirmations, stating it as though it's already true, just like we did a moment ago. The affirmation for self-control was so powerful, wasn't it? Swami Kriyananda in Raja Yoga said that to change one's life truly, one must dig down into his subconscious thought patterns and redirect them. We must practice affirmations deliberately in meditation or at bedtime, just as we do each week. We start out, we say it loud with the conscious mind to awaken the conscious mind. And then we go into a whisper to bring the affirmation into the subconscious. And then we focus with great concentration at the spiritual eye to bring that thought pattern to the superconsciousness. And this is just a process of increased awareness, which is the entire yogic path, is becoming increasingly aware of our thoughts and of the things that obscure the light of God that is our true nature. So it's this constant uncovering, it's this constant cleansing, purification, letting that light shine through. Yogananda said, every time you meditate deeply on God, beneficial changes take place in your brain. Through deep meditation affirming, I and my Father are one, you will know that you are the child of God. So I and my Father are one. I and Divine Mother are one. Repeating that over and over. That's a beautiful statement to bring into sleep as you put your head on the pillow. I and Divine Mother are one. I am a child of God. And that sets the tone for your subconscious sleep pattern. And then you wake up in the morning with that thought, I am a child of God. I am light. I am love. Yogananda said, first meditate on the thought, I and my Father are one. Try to feel great peace, then joy in your heart. When the joy comes, say, Father, thou art with me. I command thy power within to cauterize my brain cells of wrong habits and past seed tendencies. The power of God in meditation will do it. Mentally affirm and pray to God. I command my brain cells to change, to destroy the grooves of bad habits that have made a puppet out of me. Lord, burn them up with thy divine light. That comes from Divine Romance, if you're interested. There's a whole chapter about eradicating negative mental habits and karma. So that's really the yogic journey. We're just trying to move from this identification with the body and the material world, which keeps us in darkness, to this beautiful light that we truly are. In the Bhagavad Gita, let's see where I am. We know that there was a historical war on the field of Kurukshetra. But Yogananda teaches us that the war was actually an allegorical war within ourselves, between our highest tendencies, our soul nature, and our lowest ego nature. And the war, the battlefield, is the astral spine. And in the yogic path, in the tradition, we want to keep moving our energy up the spine at all times. And that's why we focus on the Agya chakra, like we did in meditation, as we do in all of our practices, because simply by keeping our awareness here, that Kundalini energy flows up the spine. And when it flows up the spine, it purifies the energy centers. It helps us rid ourselves of these unconscious behaviors, of these seeds of negative karma. It helps open our heart to love, open our throat to truth, open our mind to seeing without the physical eye, seeing with the spiritual eye. It's a beautiful, beautiful reality that is available to us. Going back to those 70,000 unruly thoughts that we have each day, we can take control of that simply by thinking of God and practicing japa. So as soon as you find your mind wandering during the day, and especially if you call yourself dumb like I did, you just go right back to I am a child of God, or simply Om Guru, Om Love, Om Peace, anything that you like. We have these beautiful books, as you know, Whispers from Eternity. Yogananda said to take one of these poems and memorize it. You could even take a line. And then we also have Yogananda's affirmations for self-healing, which are so, so powerful. I'm going to order these. I think we're out right now, but some of them are very long, but you can take one line and repeat it over and over and over. I work at the cancer center at the hospital, and one of the lines in one of the affirmations is, the healing power of spirit is flowing through all the cells of my body. I am strong. I am well. How powerful is that? The healing power of spirit is flowing through all the cells of my body. I am strong. I am well. I use that one all the time, even if I'm just feeling lethargic. It's such a powerful affirmation of who we truly are. So that's a great practice. It's just to find one line of one of Yogananda's poems, the prayer demands, the affirmations, and really integrate it into your subconscious thoughts. Same with chanting. If there's a chant you love, you get to the point where you're chanting over and over inside of the heart. And that's the way that we transform ourselves. That's the way that we stay in the light. So speaking of light, it's a beautiful coincidence that tomorrow is a total solar eclipse of the sun in North America, and we will see 91% of it in Rhode Island. And as you know, in the ancient times, solar and lunar eclipses, especially solar eclipses, were considered to be very sacred and a harbinger of what's to come. And when we think about it symbolically, Yogananda said that the sun is simply a symbol for the spiritual eye. And what's going to occur tomorrow between 2:15 and I think 3:30 is where we're going to see the whole, the most, up till 4:30. What's going to happen is that the sun is going to pass between, the moon is going to pass between the sun and the earth, and the light will be obscured. And it's such a powerful symbol for ourselves. It's a really powerful time and opportunity for us to ask ourselves, what in our life is obscuring our divine light? Is there a habit? Is there a subconscious thought pattern? Is there a behavior that makes us feel out of control, that takes over for us and obscures our divinity? So tonight is a very powerful time in your prayer and meditation to ask God tomorrow for almost an awakening, to awaken that part of your soul that can identify whatever it is that is obscuring your own divine light. And it's also very, what's the word? It's very powerful, I'll say. I can't remember the word I was trying to say. To chant or repeat the Gayatri mantra 108 times during the eclipse. And the reason for that, the Gayatri mantra is the Surya, the sun god mantra. And it's said that it contains all 24 seed bija mantras from the Sanskrit language. And it's supposed to be one of the most powerful mantras that we can chant. Additionally, it's the mantra for illumination within ourselves. So calling divine light within ourselves and letting that light purify all that darkness, all that's dark within us. It's like having a big strobe light going through the heart, the mind, the soul, and burning away any darkness that might be within us, any thoughts of limitation, any depression, any lethargy. Just allow that to happen. So again, tomorrow's a beautiful day to just take a moment and pray, meditate during the eclipse if you can. Also, the Mahamrityunjaya mantra that we do here for purification, we did it this morning. If you chant that 108 times as well, that is the mantra for spiritual purification. So again, using the light of God to purify anything inside of you that doesn't need you anymore, that you don't need anymore. And then on a big global scale, a lot of astrologers are saying that this particular solar eclipse at this time in Dwapara Yuga, the age of energy, is incredibly powerful because it's bringing in an age of huge transformation on the earth. Not only personal transformation, but worldwide transformation, that all of this difficulty that we're going through, it's basically the beginning of a new era. And even though things might continue to be very difficult, it is a harbinger of light, divine light coming to the earth and transforming the planet and us. So keep that in mind. And just remember that we are children of light. We'll read the Festival of Light in a moment, and we say, children of light, forsake the darkness. So think about that within yourself. Just think about using this as an opportunity to burn away any negative or lower states of consciousness. Win the battle that we talk about in the Bhagavad Gita. Keep the energy moving up the spine to the spiritual eye. Do everything with the thought of God. Offer everything to God. And ask God to bring that light more fully into your heart, into your mind, into your life, so that you can share that light with the world. Peace, amen.